Let's talk energy. This is a pipeline map. The green are oil, the red are natural gas, and the places that matter are these two ports, Primorsk on the Baltic Sea in the north and Novorossiysk on the Black Sea in the south. And it's really all about insurance. You can tell who's from Des Moines, like, ooh, insurance. Look to the Des Moiners. Des Moiners, Des Moinians? You know, I'm from Iowa, I should know this. Anyway, this gets really sexy really fast. So you cannot have your vessel enter a port or exit a port or go into a constrained waterway like, say, the Turkish Straits without an insurance policy. You have to have indemnification coverage. Well, one of the many aspects of the sanctions is that the Europeans, Japanese, and Americans, and that's over 95% of all policies, have said, no, we're not going to insure any Russian-flagged, chartered, or owned vessel. The way the Russians are getting around this, two-step process. Number one, they formed their own insurance, kind of sloppy, but it's there, and they're covering ships, shuttle ships, because you can't get a super tanker into these ports, they're too shallow, to run cargo from these ports around Europe to off the coast of Portugal, where step two, the Chinese have rented a half a dozen super tankers, lashed them together into a super raft, and they're doing sea-to-sea transfers from the shuttle tankers to the raft to additional super tankers who will then do the long circumcontinental trip to the East Asian coast. Now, there are so many ways this can go horribly wrong. Sea-to-sea transfers are dangerous in port, in calm, protected waters, much less on the high seas, so the environmental risk here is not minor. And in addition, you'll notice that the routes out of these places go by a lot of countries that really don't think very highly of the Russians right now. And since the Russians are the ones doing the insuring, and there's a sanctions regime in place, if you're like, say, Lithuania, and you just wake up and think, you know what, I'm gonna fuck with the Russians today. And they just go and they grab a ship, that's a $500 million to $1 billion payout. And at that point, no one else is gonna wanna run the route. So not only can you bankrupt the Kremlin, you can wreck their export route. But that does a lot more than it sounds like, because
his assessment of this at-sea transfer stuff, yes, he's very correct on that. It is a very risky operation, requires a lot of special training, it requires special equipment, and if the Chinese are just simply lashing a bunch of ships together to make a platform for conducting these transfers, it's, yeah, we're talking potential environmental disaster that would make, you know, the oil rig and the Gulf of Mexico that caught fire. Yeah, it would make that look like, you know, some child spilling their sippy cup in the bathtub.